this week we have Rivers Corbett, a co-founder of Relish Gourmet Burgers, a serial entrepreneur. So Rivers, could you tell us a bit about yourself and how you became an entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's a really good question. It was, how do you become an entrepreneur? Are you born an entrepreneur or do you become one? And I'm a firm believer that each one of us is born with that gene that is all about what we will flourish at. Some people are great plumbers, some people are great teachers, some people are great entrepreneurs. And so I think I've always had that gene in me to be an entrepreneur, first of all. But I got caught up into corporate life, where life was good, like big salary, traveling, all those wonderful things. And so I put that passion aside for a while, but then I ran into a boss that was really a crankpot. He was a prick, basically, is what he was, and he really re-energized that passion of what I really wanted to do in my life, and so I started to look at doing my own thing, and I've always have that spirit, that free spirit. So I started on that journey of trying to explore and do my own business, but I stepped into it. I didn't jump into it. I came back to New Brunswick. I was living in Halifax and came back and bought my father's businesses out from him. And what I discovered, though, is that what I really wanted to do was start up something myself. That was my real passion. And to me, that's what really entrepreneurship is about. It's when you take an idea, something that's in here, and you make it happen. It's not buying a business and then growing it. It's really starting something. So about 3 years after I started with my dad, I was unhappy. I had this nice business deal going on. It was wonderful, but it just really wasn't fueling my heart. And so then I started to do my own businesses, and that's how it all happened. Step by step, it's just chapters along the way to where I listened to my heart as well as my head, and that led me to becoming a serial entrepreneur for the last 17 years.
Cool. So, what was your first business after your father's business?
Yeah, it was. I was reading Profit magazine, and for your viewers that don't know what Profit magazine is, it's Canada's entrepreneurship magazine. It's for entrepreneurs, and in there was an article about trends in the marketplace. It's a wonderful magazine, and you can get it for free by going online. It's just fantastic. But the one trend was about taking chefs out of the kitchen and putting them into people's homes and make them meals for the week. It's all about convenience, tapping into busy lifestyles. And we take advantage of things like the Molly maids to come in and clean our house, so why not have the same sort of model with chefs come in and make these nutritional meals rather than go to McDonald's or Burger King all the time. Mom wants something nutritional for her family. The whole guilt thing was there. So I knew a guy at the time who was a fantastic chef. And I hate to cook. I absolutely despise it. I'm the last thing you'll ever find from a chef, but I love the idea because it was so unique. And so we started a company called Rent a Chef in Atlantic, Canada, about 15 years ago now. And it just blossomed. It just blew up. And it was all about taking chefs out of the kitchen and taking advantage of the Food Network deal that was going on at the time, and doing home parties with chefs, doing catering, doing the home meals. But also, we're now the largest. We're the only provider of chefs for Sobeys cooking class program in Atlantic, Canada, and we do over 180 classes a month with those guys right now. I'm a chef pimp. That's what I do. I'm a pimp.
Nice.
So that was the first one, and it really was an exciting ride. When we started, because it was new, it was exciting, and it was mine. It was my baby, and so it was really cool.
One thing I find really fascinating is when people switch from their area of expertise and switches to another field.
Yes.
Like food was obviously not your
not my
field.
passion. Not at all. Not at all.
But did you find that difficult to make that transition?
Well, see, my desire, my passion was the startup, is to be the cavalry, if you want to call it. And so I realized very quickly, I've always played on team sports, and so I understand the essence of team positions in order to make the team successful. And so all this was just putting together a team that would ultimately pursue a business opportunity. I don't like being an accountant either. But that's a part of the team member we needed. And same thing with the chef. I stuck to what I'm good at, which was strategy, which was marketing. And so it was never a concern of mine. It was, where's the opportunity? Where's the buzz? Where's the fun?
Cool. So I know you from the Relish
Yes.
chain. So when did that start, and how did that start?
That started 2.5 years ago. I had been through a situation with my past business partner that we parted ways, and as I said, I'm a chef pimp, and so I lost my chef, and so fortunately, Chef Ray Henry, who was just an extraordinary entrepreneur, or sorry, yeah, he's an entrepreneur now, but wasn't at that point in time. Extraordinary chef came into into my life, and just through serendipity. He had a need to be. He wanted to not be in the kitchen anymore. He wanted to do something on his own, and I needed somebody who had an expertise in the culinary world. Okay. That team approach. So he suggested this whole concept of gourmet burgers, and I looked around here, and there was nothing in Atlantic Canada. It's like the trend of gourmet burgers stopped at the borders of Atlantic Canada. It's a huge trend in throughout North America. It's the fastest growing food trend, just below coffee. Nothing in Atlantic Canada. Yeah, gourmet burgers were there. And so I saw the opportunity, just like the chefs coming out of the kitchen. That was new then. Gourmet burgers as a business was something totally new down here. But we wanted to, so the idea was there, but how do you make it so that it's different? And so we really wanted Relish to become a destination. And this is all accumulated, this knowledge is all accumulated over years and years. I would never have thought of this 16 years ago. But as you learn, as you get educated, and students know that, you don't go to school in grade 1 and graduate the next day. You go spend 12 years and get out of high school. So that's really what I learned. I learned a lot that we had to be unique. We had to be a special place. We had to be something that people talked about. And so that's why that whole model of relish as a verb combined with the gourmet food, the gourmet product, was born. And it's been an incredible ride in 2.5 years. We're now up to 7 locations. We've got another one sold, and we're just continuing to look about it as a franchise model.
So it's 7 locations. Is it all across the Maritimes right now? Like how many provinces?
We've got 3 of the 4 Atlantic provinces, and I'm courting someone in Charlottetown right now. So I call PEI for all you PEI people. You're the elusive woman, and I'm going to catch you. But then I've got all of Atlantic Canada, which is what our original strategy was to own the brand for gourmet burgers, top of mind awareness, identity, and so on for gourmet burgers in Atlantic Canada. So yeah, PEI is the last one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
One thing I did catch was you called relish as a verb. I think.
Yes.
So could you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah. Well, have you ever been to Disney World?
No, unfortunately I haven't.
Okay, you haven't been there yet, but Disney is a destination. I mean, it's in Florida, for goodness sake. But yet every year, people spend thousands of dollars and their time to go there. It's a destination. It's this place that's special to the heart. See, they've really created brand loyalty, and a brand is built on the head and the heart. That's what relationships are all based upon. I'm about to celebrate my 20th anniversary, and it's the heart that keeps the strength in the relationship. And so what we wanted to do is have Relish be a destination. We didn't want it to be a convenience. We wanted it to be something special that people would reach out and go to. And so the whole idea of the Relish came from, there's a Korean restaurant out in Vancouver. And when you go into the Korean restaurant, they yell at you. But they yell at you in Korean. And you have no idea what they're saying. But it's just a fun experience. And so that triggered in our head. That's the type of thing we wanted to get with our business. This isn't before the word relish came about. Obviously, you can see the connection. Relish as a condiment ties in nicely with the burgers. But for us, again, we wanted this Korean type of feel. And so that's what we started when we went into the relish as a verb rather than a noun.
Cool.
Yeah.
One thing I always remember is when I go in there, they yell out your name.
Yeah. Well, and think about it. When you go into somebody's house, that's what they do. They welcome you when you go in. But a lot of food restaurants, a lot of establishments here, they don't do that. There's a sign, wait to be seated. Well, you don't get that when you go into somebody's house. You get welcome. So that's what we do, and it's the family that welcomes. So when you come to my house for a party, it's not just my wife that says welcome. I say welcome. My kids say welcome. So it was that whole engagement process of making people feel really, really special Make them feel appreciated for their business, but then show them that. It isn't just, oh yeah, dear, to whom it may concern, we appreciate your business. I always love getting that thing in the mail. Dear valued customer, we're writing you today to sell you. Well, if it's so valuable, you don't even know my name. It's just, so this is why we pushed it that one step further, and it extends beyond simply the restaurant. It's how we engage in social media, how we engage when we do events, all those sorts of things.
Cool. What you did talk about Relish being a franchise model.
Yeah.
Is that new to you, or
no? It was our decision with Relish has always been to be 101 Relish locations. That's our goal, and we want to do it. We're into our we're 2.5 years old now, so we've got 7.5 years to go to reach our goal, and 101 Relish locations across Canada and down into New England, because we're firm believers that a business should be an investment, not a job, okay? And an investment pays you dividends. And the best way I can describe it is that the game Monopoly. And the game Monopoly to us is so indicative of what Relish is about. It's about getting all the houses around the Monopoly board, and every time someone goes in there, you get a little piece of the pie. And so that's what Relish is set upon, for them to be an investment for us that pay dividends to the organization on a regular basis, and so that's what. And franchising to us is the easiest way to do it, because you have people who have ownership in their business, but yet we still get to control the brand, get to control the elements that make people successful. So it's always been our plan to be. People always say, "Well, you own the restaurant Relish." Yeah, but ultimately I own the franchise system Relish. I just happen to own 2 of the restaurants in that organization. So that's it.
That's pretty neat. The 101.
Yeah, 101.
Is there a reason it's 101 and
yes.
not 100?
Yes, very smart of you to notice that. Yes, and because underlying Relish, overlaying Relish is a very simple philosophy in branding. And I hope everybody's paying attention to this one, because this is what I've learned in my 17 years of being an entrepreneur and building a brand. It's that you have to be different. You have to stand out. There's a great Apple commercial called Think Different, and it really defines how people can be successful over a long period of time and get people talking about it. And so that philosophy is that we zag when everybody else zigs. So whatever everybody else is doing, we don't want to do. And so we zag. We always go the opposite way, the road not taken. There's a famous Robert Frost poem that talks about that. And so we always take the road not taken. So most people would pick 100 as the 100 or 50 or 25. And so we chose 101 because we zag when everybody else zigs. And, I'll go, we'll book our appointments within our organization. I'll say, okay, our meeting's going to be at 12:13. It's not 12:15. Everybody does 12:15. Nobody does 12:13. So it's a culture of being different. And so we not only say it, but we actually act it. And so when people come to us and they experience it, they're experiencing a zag thing. So they go and they tell all their friends and family, but it was so cool being there. It was so wildly different. And that makes us a destination.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
There's been a lot of great advice in this interview. So my last question is, do you have any advice for the viewers of Startup Kitchen?
Yeah, I do. And first of all, keep hanging out with Startup Kitchen. These guys are rock stars in what they're doing and true entrepreneurs. So I'm real excited to hang out with you guys on a going forward basis. And congratulations on your success.
Cool, thank you.
And anything you need for me to help with, please reach out. I talked about the ZAG, so that's an obvious one. But here's my best piece of advice, and again, it's through 17 years of going through it. But what I would do is make sure you wake up on a Monday the same way you would a Friday. So make sure that you're enjoying your journey. Make sure you're happy with whatever you're doing as a career when it comes to entrepreneurship. There's all kinds of opportunities for business to flourish, to start and to flourish. But the key is it's got to hit in your heart first. If you're really passionate about it and you try to form a business around it, you will be wildly successful. But see, the heart, when you're going through the tough times in the beginning, will keep you going because you're excited about where you're going. But if you're in a business, like I was in a business once that I thought, geez, this is great, I own this business, it's doing well, but I lost interest in it. It didn't get into my heart. and I didn't wake up on a Monday like I did on a Friday, and so I parted ways with it. Just got rid of it, and life. My father loves to tell me, life ain't no dress rehearsal. You only go this way once in this life, anyway, depending on your faith. But the point is that follow your passion, and the rest will come. The other side of that, of course, is that you got to have access to cash along the way. Not necessarily cash, but access to cash. But it starts with your heart.
Cool. Thanks, River. That was a great interview.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you.